What's up? Good evening, everyone. My TTG fam, how is everyone doing tonight? How was everybody's weekend? What's up, guys? How's everyone tonight? What do we got? Let's see. Who do we got with us here today? My man Peter Julius Joseph, representing with the pizza, small cap reporter, Danny Brew, Sean Miller, Le Vortex, how are you? Bo, what's up, my brother? JD Seafood, representing with the pizza. Charles Memphis, beautiful. William Darnford. Yes, no hat. No hat today, everyone. I know, no hat.
You see the comment? He's got the good hair tonight.
Yes, Peter, I brought the good hair tonight, man. I brought the good hair tonight. No hat tonight. R. Hirsch, what's up? Sarah, how are you? Robert Reed. Miss Tiny Trader, Mike Delaney. Johnny B. Nick Lowry. Paulette, what's up? Cannabear, what's going on, my man? Think Patato. Renzo Lopez, what's up, man? I'm good. How are you? Paul, my man. Sean Ramos. Yo, Charles Zofke, new TTG member. Charles, what's up, man? Welcome back to the stream. Gary Feely. King Kong's in the house. Glenny Trades. Willard. DD's in the house. My man, Mike DeRocco, what's up, brother? Mark, New Jersey, what's up? G Dozier. Yo, Russ G, what's up, man? Santos, nice, guys, very nice. Rodrigo, what's up, Rodrigo? How are you? Ghost with the most, 2% a day. 2% a day keeps the job away. Megs Lee. What's up, everybody? Great. Awesome. We got a nice little crowd here tonight. We got a nice crowd joining us here tonight on this live stream. We've got wild and craziness, guys, again here in the futures session. We are having another substantial gap up in the overall markets. We are popping now over 35.20 as we start this live stream. We are up over 35.20. So as it stands right now, we are once again at new all-time highs. We've got some stock splits taking into effect this week. You've got Apple, you've got Tesla stock splits that a lot of people are talking about. Everyone's going to want to know what Jason and I are going to be looking at. And as you guys can see, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Jason the Wolf Spatafora, joining me on this live stream with his hat because he can't show his hair anymore. What are you snacking on there, man? You're making me hungry. What are you eating there?
All these little chocolates.
Nice. Little crackle chocolates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't had a gap up like this in futures in a couple of weeks. We really haven't. I think one of the live streams I talked about it, just changing my strategy overall, because we're getting to this point where it's like, well, are we going to pull back? Are we going to keep going? This is the first significant pull, move up that I've seen in futures in a couple of weeks. We'll see. But gold, silver, also moving. So
I think it's also important for us to talk about, guys. Tonight we're going to give kind of our outlook here for the week. There's something specific that I want to talk to you all about that we noticed last week that is definitely worth mentioning in the VIX. There's some unusual action that's taking place in the VIX that is not really very characteristic of what you're seeing in the overall markets as we're continuing to push higher to new all-time highs in the SPY. Now you've been getting the Dow was starting to move up towards those all-time highs. Of course, the NASDAQ's been at all-time highs for weeks now already. But There's a couple of setups that we're going to be talking about. Beyond Meat, we're going to talk about Roku. We're going to talk about Roku touching all-time highs on Friday as well. Maybe you get some follow-through on that on Roku. But we're going to be talking about in the live stream tonight mainly Apple and Tesla stock split. We're going to talk about the SPY at all-time highs. I think Jason might talk a little bit to you guys about gold and silver. I'm going to talk to you about the VIX and some action that I'm recognizing in the VIX over the last 2 days now, not just one. Over the last 2 days, there's been some action in the VIX that I think is noteworthy and I think should be discussed. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do here tonight, guys. Jason, hold on, Jason. I just saw a comment.
You're looking fresh as fuck, dude.
No. It's not even the comment that I was thinking about. I didn't see the comment that someone said I'm looking fresh as fuck, but someone just goes, "Damn, Mike, I see you flashing the hair right after Wolf took his down. I see you."
Yeah.
So as soon as you shave your head, I show everybody my hair, my full head of hair.
The market stays balanced.
I've had so many people ask me, they're like, "Mike, are you bald?" I'm like, "No, I actually have a very full head of hair. I don't know. I like hats. I always wear hats. I like hats." But yeah, guys, we're gonna talk about a few things here tonight on this live stream. Before we do get things started, I start off all my live streams. You guys know it with the Q&A, blanket Q&A. That's how we start off all my live streams. Before I do that, before I answer one question, I'm not answering one question, okay, until you guys all take 5 seconds right now. Smash that like button for me and the Wolf. Let us know how much you guys appreciate these live Q&As on a Sunday to kind of get you guys started off on the right foot, talk to you about some stock market outlook and some individual stocks that we're going to be paying attention to. And most importantly, what are some of the things that we're going to be looking at specifically as the market starts to kick things off here tomorrow morning. Okay, so before we do get things started, guys, smash that like button, share this live stream on your social media. You guys, if you're joining us on Twitch, if you're joining us on Facebook, you're joining us on Twitter or YouTube, make sure to like this video and share this live stream on your own personal social media channels so we can reach as many potential traders as we possibly can, so we can help as many traders as we possibly can with this educational info and stock market commentary that can get traders off on the right foot starting tomorrow morning. Okay, so welcome if you're joining me on YouTube. If you're coming from Facebook, we're streaming also on Twitch and also on Twitter through Periscope. Okay, so welcome. Robert Gregory from Facebook. What's up, man? I see you. Welcome. Chris Bostis is in the house. Very nice. Travis H, what's up? Kent McCoo, what's up, guys? Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you, guys. Yes, I hope you guys had an awesome weekend as well. No, Brandon, I do not own a single position. I don't own a single OTC mining stock. I do not own one. We got a quick question there, Wolf. You see Gary's question about says, "Hey, Wolf, what are your thoughts on Congress cannabis vote on September 8th?
It won't pass Senate. It's good to hear. Look, we have the Democrats have to take the Senate and the presidency. It's as simple as that. You guys want weed? That's what you need. I didn't mean to rhyme. Sometimes I do it all the time, though.
If you want weed, that's what you need.
That's right. It won't happen. You need the Senate to vote for that. And I mean, look, also, even for the Democrats, I don't think it's a good look to do it this year. We got a lot of other shit to vote on before weed, So I'll pull hey, guys, work on something else before you legalize weed. Also, it'll give us a little bit more time. We want to stretch out this whole process of legalization as long as we can. That way you could have a market that looks like Canada, US from 2016 to 2018.
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't want to put ourselves in a situation similar to what happened in Canada, where there's, the legalization, that the market wasn't developed enough. It wasn't mature enough. Wasn't able to handle that increase in demand. And you all have, because if you follow Jason on Twitter, you guys are well aware of his feelings on the Canadian cannabis market, and we don't want to replicate those issues that they're having here in the U.S. The U.S. market's got, probably 10 times the potential of the Canadian.
Literally, it's 10 times the population, and
Yeah.
the population is the only thing you need to understand as far as it comes to investing in marijuana for the future. That, and you can't be somebody that buys and holds. That's it. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, Jason's been focusing on some of these marijuana names now for these last couple of weeks, and he's been starting to really get busy with a lot of these weed stocks. So maybe we'll also include tonight on this live stream, maybe some quick commentary from the Wolf on the state of the cannabis market and some of the stocks that he's looking at, because he and I were just talking before we started this live stream about just how insane that with the markets back up at all-time highs, and as we're gapping up again, and it's just pushing and extending further. The reason for this gap up also, guys, that I think it's important that we mention is the about how the FDA might be moving to a approval for a vaccine without completing a phase 3. Now, whether that is could be viewed as problematic for the efficacy of the vaccine itself, but nonetheless, that would be good for the market, because the market would read that as getting the economy open and back to normal faster and sooner, where you're having a potential vaccine approval from the FDA without even completing and finalizing that final phase, and really kind of making a very what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just really just making a unique exception for the rule, and kind of altering your typical vaccination process that would go through the FDA, which could take years. Developing vaccines could take years, but now you're talking about doing it in just a matter of months, and now it could be even sooner if the FDA is able to, grant approval for mass production and distribution to the public without completing that phase 3. So that's something interesting that you have to pay attention to. Some of the companies, you're going to want to focus on the companies that are already in that phase 3, like Moderna. Moderna's already in that phase 3. I would not be the least bit surprised if you see Moderna gap up tomorrow morning on that statement, because I think that you might get all the companies that are already in a phase 3. That little news headline could give all those stocks a bump, because it could signal that they are closer to an approval than even people initially thought. Okay. So, like I said, guys, before we get things going here, oh no, I'm sorry. Let me finish my thought, how I even got talking about the gap up, because the Wolf has been focusing on now some of these cannabis stocks and some of these marijuana stocks again, because that's what's making sense right now. It's like, when you see the market just keep pushing all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, a lot of people are having a very tough time wrapping their head around making sense of the all-time high. So, Jason has been focusing on a lot of these cannabis names again, and there's no one that knows the cannabis sector better than he. So we'll talk about that here today on this live stream as well. In the meantime, I'm going to give about 15-20 minutes, guys, of a blanket Q&A session. Fire away, whether you guys are on YouTube, Facebook, whether you're on Twitch or on Periscope or Twitter, however you guys are joining us on this live stream, fire away. Don't be shy. Ask us questions. I'm going to open the floor up for about 15-20 minutes or so before we get into kind of the stock market outlook. And I figure we'll probably spend about maybe an hour or so going over our outlook and the different topics. I talked about Apple, Tesla, Roku, Beyond Meat, some cannabis stocks, and then what I'm seeing in the VIX. Maybe if Jason wants to talk about gold and silver a little bit, we'll probably spend at least an hour on all of those topics. So while I give some time for more people to log on and join us on the stream, feel free, guys, fire away, ask us some questions.
Can Tesla go higher? Yeah, it will. Tesla will go higher. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not due for a serious cool down. I bet when Mike pulls up the chart, he can tell you how far above it is its 200-day moving average.
Oh,
and then you'll be like, maybe I'll wait on Tesla.
Oh, TC 2000 is the chart's messed up because now it's trying to take into effect the stock split. So that's why I see now my TC 2000. I bet you it looks the same for Apple. Yep, there you go. I knew it. So yeah, so TC 2000, the charting software, it's already trying to factor in the stock split. That's what So the test. Excuse me. So Apple will be opening up far below, and then Tesla will be opening up. I believe it was so divided by 5. What do we close at? About 2,200 divided by 5, 400 and change. Tesla will be this week. But yeah, guys, I mean, so yeah, the daily chart, I'm not going to show you guys the daily chart because the daily chart is screwed up because it's trying to take into account the stock split, but it's not fully active yet. So that's why the daily chart looks all messed up. But guys, I mean, if I take it's like a 15-minute chart, I mean, can Tesla go higher? Absolutely, Tesla can go higher. I think that Tesla's going to perform very well coming out of its stock split. Sure, maybe it sells off a little bit or has a little bit of a pullback or cools off immediately following the split. Sure, that's possible too. As you may get some people that what might happen is maybe you get some people that have been wanting to take profit in Tesla. Like you might have a lot of individual retail investors that own maybe like a couple of shares that want to start to take profits on their positions. Once the split happens, they get a lot more shares. It's easier for people to take profits mentally, because if you go from having like 10 shares to now you own 50 shares, you go from 100 shares to owning 500 shares, and so on and so on. It's a lot easier for people to part ways with some of those shares and to lock in some profits on the massive move that Tesla has had. So, maybe you get a little bit of a cool off, but I think within a year following the stock split, I do expect Tesla to go higher. I think I think Tesla could be back in the 500, 600 range very quickly. And when I say very quickly, I don't mean like within days or weeks, but I think within, maybe a couple of quarters, I think you'd be looking at Tesla back to 550, 600. I think that's extremely possible. And it's something that I'm going to be looking for also myself. I'm going to look for pullbacks in Tesla where I'll be able to start to, accumulate some shares. I don't currently own any Tesla shares in my long-term portfolio. I can't buy it up here. I just can't. I can't seem to bring myself to get long at this valuation. But on a pullback, I absolutely will be a buyer. I believe in Tesla long-term. I believe in Elon Musk. So I will be. I'll let you guys know too whenever the time comes that I do go back and add Tesla into the long-term portfolio. I'll certainly let you guys know. Okay. My figure's Tesla to 700s by the end of the year. It's possible. I don't think it'll be over 1,000 by spring. I think that's a little too optimistic.
Yeah, you're basically saying 4,000. No, that's nuts.
Yeah, you're basically saying that Tesla went to 4,000. It's going to double its market. It's going to almost double its market cap by spring.
It'll be $1 trillion company at that point.
Yeah, because it's already, what is it now, Jason? 480 billion or something like that?
Ironically, $420 billion.
Yeah, so you're talking about almost $1 trillion valuation. No way.
Yeah. Wait for it to pull back and then get calls going into battery day, and then you're good. There you go. You're welcome. Join TTG. Battery day is September 11th, I think.
Michael says, how do you profit from a split? There is no profit. It's not how do you profit from a split, guys. Literally nothing really changes. There's no change in your position. The value of your position, excuse me, I should say. There's no change in the value of your position when a stock splits. Okay, it's just that sometimes when a stock splits, the stock gets a little bit of a bump because people come in and they buy the stock before the stock splits, so they can get and take advantage of the stock split and get more shares. But the value of your position does not change one single bit when a stock splits. The
Yeah.
value if you have $10,000 in Tesla right now, when Tesla splits, you will still have exactly $10,000. Same thing with Apple. It does not change the value of your position whatsoever.
Yeah, guys, the thing to realize that, now Tesla becomes a little bit less volatile,
Yes,
right?
for
So
sure.
so now, maybe I start trading Tesla options instead of just waiting till Friday. Uh,
Right. Right.
and we almost traded it on Friday too. And the options literally went up 300% in a minute. It was nuts. It was
So
like
much.
the craziest thing. Okay, so GLD holding support tomorrow. Thoughts, Jason and Mike? We traded GLD a bunch this week. Look, I took a poll this weekend on my Twitter just to kind of see where people are at. People aren't selling. People aren't really buying. They're doing a lot of rotating, just kind of based off of the poll. People are definitely not shorting, which I kind of expected. But I think you are going to see, a hedge into gold. I mean, I saw a thing tonight that Ohio, I forget what pension fund, just approved an allocation of a giant pension fund of like 5% towards gold. So it's kind of like better late than never. Look, I think people are going to hedge with gold and silver. I'm looking at GLD for like, end of maybe September 25th, like 190 calls, something like that. SLV maybe 27 by like October. This whole thing with Powell on Thursday, just kind of talking about inflation, and trying to keep it, what is it, below 2% or above 2? I don't know. I'm not an economist. I just know that once you start talking about inflation, you're going to have two factions: people that buy gold and silver, and the people that buy gold and silver.
That's
So,
true, guys. Yeah, and Jason, I also have up on my screen right now for our viewers to see a very nice bullish chart setup on both GLD and silver. You've got a bit of a descending triangle pattern. Some people might call it a pennant pattern, but you have a real nice descending triangle pattern on the GLD, which I have up on my screen, and then on the SLV, you have a bit of a bull flag. Some people might call it a bull pennant. But I mean, both of these chart patterns on SLV and GLD, both very, very similar setups, both also very bullish chart setups. I do think that this could be a good week for gold and silver. I think gold, you could see push over that 190, the GLD, I think you can see push over that 190 mark. I think SLV, you can see push up back into the 27 area. And this is actually going to coincide with some of the action that I've been seeing in the VIX. And I'm going to save these comments and this commentary for a little bit later on this live stream. Once we finish up our Q&A, we get into the stock market outlook, because now we're actually starting to discuss some of the things and the trade ideas that Jason and I have going into this week, and where we're going to focus on trying to make some money this week. And GLD and SLV have a lot to do with it. But both of these ETFs, very similar and very bullish chart setups. So this is definitely something that he and I are going to be paying close attention to coming into this week.
ugh. Intel or Micron?
Ooh.
Neither. I mean, I'd have to say Micron. Gun to
I
my head.
would go Micron. I
Yeah,
would go Micron. I like Micron better than I do like Intel.
But that's only with a gun to my head.
Yeah,
There's better choices out there.
right. I'd rather see you guys in AMD. I'd rather see an AMD. I'd rather see an NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA within the next 3 to 5 years, I think NVIDIA is $1,000 stock. AMD within the next 3 to 5 years, I think is $150 stock. Those are my two favorite chip makers. Okay, those are my two favorite chip makers. I know it's tough to And this is something that you guys really have to understand real quick. And I really want to put this into perspective for you. And this is something that I want you guys to remember, not just for your active trading, but when it comes to long-term portfolio management and investing long-term, so many people always have the thought process in their head of, well, that stock has already run too far. I'm not going to buy that. Let me buy a cheaper one. And I always want you to keep in mind that there's a reason why AMD in the last couple of months, okay, there's a reason AMD has done that. And there is a reason why Intel has done that. Okay. It's not because investors that are looking for exposure in the semiconductor space just completely forgot that Intel existed. The reason why Intel has gone down significantly and AMD and Nvidia have gone up significantly because semiconductor investors like the future prospects of those companies a hell of a lot more than they do Intel. That's why the stock is moving higher while Intel's moving down. So don't always think to yourself that cheaper is better, because if you guys went and you looked in March when the market crashed, if you decided, okay, I'm just going to buy the stuff that's the cheapest, all the stuff that's the cheapest, you haven't made a single dollar since the March low.
Poor bastards.
If you have said to yourself, oh, well, I'm going to buy the stocks that went down the most because I think they're the cheapest, and therefore you somehow think that that means that they've got the most potential, you have made $0. Because if in March you bought Carnival Cruise Lines, if in March you bought American Airlines, okay, you have made $0. Because you might say, oh, well, they went down the most, so they're going to have the most potential. I was really screaming at the top of rooftops in March and April when everybody was asking me, Mike, should I buy the cruise lines? Should I buy American Airlines? Should I buy Carnival Cruise? And every single stream, every single live Q&A session that I've done since March, I said, no, 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 no. And then somebody asked me one more time, and I thought about it for just a little bit longer, and then I also said no. Okay, and I was really telling people that all the stocks that I was buying, and it's the stocks that people said, well, those stocks didn't come down that much. They're not really that cheap, so I'm going to stay away from them. What were those companies? Well, guys, those companies were Apple, okay, which is up, God, no, I don't even know how much percent. Amazon, Facebook, AMD, Square, Chipotle, Home Depot, Microsoft, Nvidia, okay? And you guys see what these stocks have done since those March lows. That's where I've been telling people that in March and April, I was like, those are your buys. You know, those are the companies that I added to in March and April. I told everybody on the TTG in my TGD family, whenever I add to my long-term portfolio holdings, I always let everybody in True Trading Group know. I was banging the table AMD at $40. When AMD was at $40, I was banging the table like, guys, AMD, 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 AMD. And now you can see AMD's at 85. Okay. Don't always equate the cheapest stock with having the most upside potential, because that's not true. Let's see.
We should go back. We should do like that first stream, because it was the first stream I did with TTG where we started. It was a Sunday, and we talked about what we were getting into. Maybe Adam can find that. It's around March 20th or something. One of the first Sunday around then.
Yeah,
because it'd be real interesting. Like we just had the clip, you know, or whatever. Because then people look. It's very easy, and I see this on Twitter, right? It's to be like, oh, I told you to buy this, you know? And everybody's like, yeah, okay. But if you've got the receipts, which we do, you know, then maybe people listen a little closer the next time.
We should do something like that, guys, because, yeah, the Wolf and I did several live streams in March.
I mean, guys, I was doing other podcasts and giving this out. Like, before I did the TTG one, I was staying on point exactly. It was like, I get it, like American Airlines, Carnival, those were great trades, but that's what you have to understand. They were great trades. If you were smart, you did what I did, or, you bought those, you watched them go from like $10 to $18, like in American Airlines case, and then you sold it. Then when it pulled back, you bought it again, watch it go from $9 to $20, and then you sold it. But you weren't fucking around with Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Square. Like Square was one of those companies. It was the first time I was getting into it. And I thought I was a genius selling it at $85. Same thing. I bought Lululemon at $176. I was like, I'm a hero. I sold it just under $220. And now I'm like, I can't even look at Lululemon now. I mean, guys, right now I'm in kind of selling mode. I'm just like, whatever. I'm rotating right now. So, what can you do?
Yeah. All right, let's see. Nope, Jennifer Jones. We will talk about The Spy in just a few minutes.
You see Oxy going higher?
Oof. I mean,
Maybe.
I own Oxy in my long-term portfolio. I do own Oxy. So guys, I bought 3 different oil and gas companies when oil blew up and went to negative. The oil futures went negative 40. I stepped in and I actually bought a couple of stocks just because I really liked the dividend on them. Oxy has since cut their dividend, but I bought 3 different tier energy companies. One was a low risk, one was a medium risk, the other was a high risk. Oxy was my high risk buy, where I felt like if Oxy was able to withstand and is able to weather the storm throughout this coronavirus pandemic and throughout the massive drop in oil demand and therefore oil prices, that I thought that we can see Oxy back over $30 within a year. So that was kind of like my high risk, high reward play. My medium risk reward play was OKE. OKE, I love the dividend on it. OKE pays a high dividend. They're more natural gas. And then Chevron. Chevron is the low risk play, obviously. I mean, Chevron, I think, is probably the best. If you're looking at a big oil, I like Chevron better than more diverse and is more capable of getting revenue from different streams. And if I had to own one, Chevron, and huge dividends, so even if the stock just trades sideways, I'll make a nice chunk of my money every year. And then any upside the stock gives me, I obviously participate in that as well on top of my dividend. So, I mean, those are the 3 oil and gas stocks that I bought when all of that happened. This is for my long-term portfolio. Oxy is definitely the high risk, high reward play. There is a lot of support down here around 12, where stock's trading right around 13. I think, you could see this thing, move back up to, 15, 16, $17, but I think it's going to be a little while before you see Oxy really start to move back and solidify and find solid footing in the mid 20s. I think it might just take a little bit of time.
Kodak puts.
Oh man.
Stay away from Kodak.
Yeah, please. James Earl Scones goes, Chevron dividend is nice. It is very nice. RKT, I like RKT. RKT has traded very, very well since its IPO. I do like RKT.
What's the float on RKT?
I don't even know.
Rocket Mortgage. Let's see how they do a year from now. They might be a really good short.
All right, guys. So, like I said, I think that's enough time for our Q&A. Before I get started with our, um, before we get started, guys, before we get started now with our stock market outlook, I want to talk to you guys about what it is that I'm seeing in the VIX. Jason will talk to you a little bit about gold and silver, and then we are going to get into Roku, Beyond Meat, a couple of other names that we're going to be paying attention to. A couple others that we're going to be paying attention to. Okay. Before I do get into that, real quick, guys, a quick show of hands. Okay. A quick show of hands. How many of you are either not a TTG member or this is your very first time on a True Trading Group live stream? How many of you are not a TTG member or this is your very first time on a TTG live stream? Just a quick show of hands, guys. I just want to get a feel for how many new faces we have joining us here today. All right, Bucky, Amber, Mark B, first time, welcome. Russell, Kevin, Bob, Michael M, Socrates, Amber, Kevin, Jose, Marjone, Kelly, Abdu, Mr. Magnify, Kill Switch. All right. Ikram, Nick, Adi. Wow, a lot of new faces. Scott, Jamie, Frank, Ezekiel, Jennifer Jones, Ramesh. Nice. Mike Murphy says, my first time joined. Israel, Julian, Ghost with the most. Brandon, Rocky, Dwayne, Sushil. All right, guys. Eric Roos, first timer. Matan. Yeah, right, Peter? A lot of TTG virgins here tonight. Viking USA, Jordan, Nadia, Omar, Fabio, Polici. Beautiful, guys. Muhammad, my God. Alex, Allen, Rashad, Steve Marvin, Victor, Jemshad. Wow, guys. Okay. Julian Ford, guys, excellent. Fantastic. I love when we've got a lot of new first timers. AD Gant, first timer. Yowie Zong, first timer. Beautiful. I love it, guys. Honestly, everyone that is a first timer here, welcome each and every single one of you. Okay? Welcome each and every single one of you. Okay? I want to officially and personally welcome you guys to the True Trading Group channel. Okay? For those of you all that are brand new, that have never joined a TTG stream before, first thing you're going to want to do right now, before we go any further, first thing you're going to want to do, subscribe. Okay? Whatever social media channel you're viewing this on, if it's on YouTube, Facebook, if it's on Twitch, if it's through Periscope on Twitter, okay? No matter what it is, okay? No matter what it is that you guys are watching this on right now, I want you to subscribe, okay? Make sure that you never miss a single one of our live streams ever, okay? The Wolf, myself, we are constantly doing live streams that we broadcast out on various social media platforms. We are constantly uploading free content that is both technical and mental lessons with regards to day trading and swing trading, both stocks and options. For those of you that are brand new, that probably don't even know who the hell I am, I'm going to tell you guys real quick, 2 minutes, give you a quick little background on myself and the Wolf. and why you guys are lucky that you guys found the TCG channel tonight, and why you really want to make sure you subscribe to this channel and follow a lot of this content that we give out for free. Because guys, I began my trading career working for a hedge fund on Wall Street. We managed about $500 million. That's where I began my trading career. Okay, right out of college, my very first job. I went through a 3-month educational program while I worked at this hedge fund. That's where I learned how to trade. Before I got hired at the fund, I did not know how to trade. They taught me. Traders and analysts from the fund, professional Wall Street traders, came in and they taught me everything that they know. And that is everything that I implement in my trading now today. Okay. I also have since taken all of that information, that 3-month of educational program that I received at the hedge fund. I've broken it down, simplified the information. I've created an entire educational curriculum that's available on TrueTradingGroup.com. Okay. All of our TGD family members, they all get access to the entire TGD curriculum that covers both stocks and options. It covers trader psychology lessons, beginner courses, advanced courses. There is a ton of stuff that is included with in the TGD curriculum. That is the same stuff that I learned while working at a hedge fund. I also, in 2008, won a Trader of the Year award for my performance in 2008. Meanwhile, for those of you that have been around long enough, 2008 was the Great Recession, the housing market crash, or the housing market bubble. The stock market crashed like 55% within just a few short months between 08 and 09. And I actually went on to win a Trader of the Year award because I excelled during that time while the markets were crashing. Okay, but then none of that would have been possible if it wasn't for the education and mentorship that I received while I worked at that hedge fund. Okay, so that's who I am, as a trader. For those of you that are brand new, we have a lot of new faces here. I wanted to just introduce myself to you, give you a little bit of background so you understand who I am and why you guys should be paying attention to the content that we put out here. The Wolf, I'll give you guys just a quick little breakdown of the Wolf. The Wolf, is Twitter famous. Blue checks verified. One of the best option traders that I know. He's also a cannabis market guru. His claim to fame is really being ahead of the cannabis market explosion in 2013 into 2014, and called out a lot of early moves in the cannabis space. And ever since then has really had his ear to the ground in that space and has really become the leading market authority with anything cannabis related. But even outside of cannabis and weed, he's one hell of an options trader, and his focus really is large cap options, and now earns his living off of trading those options and the same strategies that he's been implementing now for years. And between he and I, we are two of your lead moderators in the True Trading Group chat room. Okay, so that's why you guys want to, if you're brand new, the first thing you want to do before we move any further is make sure you subscribe to these channels before we go here any further. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, and for those of you that are not yet a TTG member, if you are not yet a TTG member, I want to make sure that all of you are well aware. Okay, I want to make sure that all of you are well aware of our TTG3 platform. Okay, because you have the option and the opportunity to join True Trading Group for a 7-day trial that will only cost you guys $3. Okay, again, if you are brand new to the channel, if you are not yet a True Trading Group member, you're not yet quite sure if True Trading Group is right for you, right now you guys can take advantage of a 7-day trial for just $3. It's a one-time payment of $3. It is not a reoccurring charge. It is a one-time payment of $3. At any point during this trial period, you have the ability to upgrade to a full membership, but you are under no obligation whatsoever to do so. You guys can come in, test drive True Trading Group, try us out. You get to spend one full day in chat with us any day during the week, Monday through Friday. You can pick whichever day fits your schedule best. Come and chat, trade with me and the Wolf and the other teaching moderators live. I share my screen. I'm on the microphone. We're sending out trade alerts in real time. The Wolf is on the microphone telling you guys what we're buying, what we're selling before we buy and before we sell. I always come on the mic. I tell you what I'm buying before I buy it, what I'm selling before I sell it. You see my screen, you know exactly what I'm doing throughout the course of the trading day. So that's what you guys will be able to gain access to on your 7-day trial period. You will also get access to 3 courses. Each course has multiple chapters. each course also has an exam at the end. When you guys finish a course, you take the exam, score 85% or higher on the exam, you get a badge for that course. Earn all 3 badges for all 3 courses. That will unlock a special perk and some special cool little gifts and features if you do decide to become a full-time True Training Group member. These 3 courses that you get in your 7-day trial membership is guaranteed to help make you a better trader. I've specifically selected these topics to put in these 3 courses. These 3 courses are different from the courses that are available in the TTG curriculum. I created them specifically for our TTG3 platform. Okay, and that is if you guys are interested in that 7-day trial period, that's our TTG3 platform. Go to www.ttg3.com to register and get your 7-day trial period, get access to our chat room, get access to those 3 courses that are guaranteed to make you a better trader. You will also get access to our stock profile tool, which will allow you to conduct intense, in-depth due diligence on any company you're interested in. That will come with a downloadable PDF report on that company, as well as a compiled list of every single analyst rating that the street, whether it's an investment bank or fund, has on that particular stock. So you want to know how many analysts have a strong buy, hold, moderate sell, strong sell. We compile all that data for you in our stock profile tool. You also get access to our trade history. All of your TTG moderators, full transparency. We hold ourselves accountable for all of our trades. You will be able to see for the last month and a half, almost 2 months now, of our most recent trading activity from myself, the Wolf, as well as the other TTG moderators. Okay. There's myself, there's the Wolf, there's Chris Toner, Alex Campbell, and Jay Downing, and all 5 of us maintain a trade history log where as a member of the 7-day trial, you can go in and see all of our trades. Okay, you can see all of our trades. We trade everything. We trade small caps, mid caps, large caps. We trade options. We trade ETFs. We trade it all. Okay, we trade all of it. Okay, we trade all of it. So that's what you guys will be able to get access to as a member of that TTG3 trial period. You can navigate the entire member dashboard and see all the features and resources that are available to you as a TTG member. Now, some of those features and resources are locked specifically for full-time TTG members. Like we have a trade simulator. You can trade stocks and options with fake money with real-time level 1 and real-time level 2 quotes. We have a stock screener that you can filter through every stock that's in the market to see what stocks you should be focusing your attention on during the day. We have our TTG curriculum, all of our courses, beginner courses, advanced courses, option courses, advanced options, trader psychology, trading a market crash. You guys get access to all of that curriculum. We have a premium blog. We've got a TTG forum. We've got a webinars and workshops and our virtual trading seminars that we host regularly that members get access to. Excuse me, guys, also in addition to your TTG3 membership, you also get our real-time Benzinga news feed that's included with your membership as a TTG family member. You also get access to this included in your TTG 7-day trial. So again, for just $3, if you guys want to try TTG out for 7 days, for $3, you're going to get 3 courses, a day in chat, our stock profile tool, get access to all of our trade history, and you will also get access to our Benzinga Pro newsfeed. All of that for 7 days for $3. That's how you guys can answer the question, is TTG right for me? Is this somewhere I want to learn how to trade stocks and options? Is this a group that I want to get behind and I want to be a part of? And is this a family? Because that's what we are. That's why I always say welcome to the family when someone joins your trading group. And you guys can all do that for just $3. Again, so go to ttg3.com and you guys can join that TTG3 program. Now, for those of you that are already a TTG3 trial member, okay, if you are already a TTG3 trial member, or you're not a TTG trial member, but you're interested in joining True Trading Group full time. If you're interested in joining True Trading Group full time, I want you to right now send a text message to send a text message to 63566. Okay, text the phrase TTG live. That's TTG LIVE. Send a text message to 63566 to receive a special discount that will expire at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Eastern time tonight. Okay? If you are interested in joining True Trading Group full time, I want you to send the text message TTG Live to the code 63566, and you will get a special one-time discount on a full TTG 1-year all-inclusive membership that gets you access to everything, every course, every resource, every tool, everything that we have available is at your fingertips. Everything's included in your membership. There's no upsells in True Trading Group, guys. Okay? It's like when you join, you get all the courses, all the resources, all the tools. Okay, we're not one of those programs that you join and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, but wait, you need this package if you want these courses. Or if you want this resource, well, that's a special other package. No upsells. You get access to every single thing we have to offer the second you become part of the TTG family. Okay? So again, if you guys want a special discount, to join full time, text TTG Live, that's TTG LIVE to 63566. Okay? Otherwise, if you want to try us out, like I said, you've got that 7-day trial period called TTG3, and that's just $3. Okay? All right. Now, as we now move forward, so now all of our new members, you guys now have the opportunity, okay, to join True Trading Group if you want. I just told you guys how you can do it. You have 2 different ways. That's how you guys can do it. That's how you guys can check out True Trading Group and join me and the Wolf and the rest of the family. Now, let's talk about our stock market outlook for the week. Okay, let's talk about our stock market outlook for the week. Where are we going to make money this week? I'm going to start actually talking to you guys about gold and silver because we kind of started getting into gold and silver. Okay, we started getting into gold and silver earlier on the live stream because a couple of people had some questions about it. So let's go back and I want to pull up the chart of GLD. Okay, let's go to the daily chart for GLD. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this chart pattern. I want you to pay very close attention to this chart setup. Okay, this, guys, is a descending triangle pattern. You have very clear support around this 178, 179 area. And you have a very clear downtrend resistance line that GLD has put in place as it's made lower highs as it bounces off the support level. What you are going to want to look for, okay, what you are going to want to look for is a break out of this downtrend line, okay? You guys are going to want to look for a breakout of this downtrend resistance line. On the GLD, you're looking at a break through the 185 area. Okay, 185 to 186. Look for GLD to break up and out of that area. That would be a breakout of a descending triangle pattern, which is a bullish chart pattern breakout. The descending triangle pattern, as well as a whole long list, okay, of stock market and stock chart patterns that I think every trader should know. You guys learn all of that in the courses. If you don't know what I'm explaining to you right now, don't worry. You will learn all of this in the courses when you guys become part of the TTG family and you go through all the curriculum and all that material. Okay, so look for an increase in volume on a break above this downtrend resistance line. Specifically, the type of volume I'm looking for, I want to see over 20 million shares. I want to see 20 million shares or higher on a break above this downtrend resistance line to confirm the breakout of this pattern on the GLD. I think this is something that should be on everybody's focus coming into this week, this particular setup on the GLD. Now, in conjunction with the GLD, I also want you guys to focus on silver. Now, your silver ETF that you can look at that tracks, okay, is the SLV. Okay. Now the SLV, slightly different chart pattern setup in the sense that it's not a descending triangle because the support level is not horizontally across like GLD. When I go back to the GLD, you will notice that the support level is horizontal. Okay. And the resistance level is sloping downward. That's why this is a descending triangle. Then as you compare that to the SLV, you will notice the SLV resistance is sloping downward, but your support is now not horizontal, but rather it is sloping upward. And this is a bull flag pennant, also called a bullish pennant pattern. And oops, I didn't mean to delete those lines. What you're going to want to look for on SLV, again, this is a bullish chart pattern, just like the GLD. You're going to want to look for an increase in volume on a break out of this flag pattern. Now, for SLV, you're looking at $26. You are going to want to look for a nice strong volume day as SLV breaks through $26 and gets through $26.50. If you get a high volume break out of this flag pattern, I would expect the SLV to continue its onslaught and get all the way up to this previous pivot high of 27.40 and eventually get up over 28. So I am bullish on both gold and silver coming into this week. And something that I want you to pay very close attention to, what I want to get into right now. Wolf, did you have anything specific you want to talk about gold and silver before I talk about the VIX?
Yeah, we actually played not SLV, we played AG, which is First Majestic Silver, $12 calls. We're out of those. We played GLD a couple times this week and last week. You know, the one thing I'm going to tell you guys about GLD, you know, if you are planning on trading the options because the stock might be, you know, just a little too rich for you guys, is you really have to attack that first move, you know, so long as it's linear. Because when it comes to options and, you know, the premium burn on options, GLD is actually exceptionally volatile. That thing loses value on a sneeze. So, you know, one of the things that I've been doing has been, you know, especially on that first take profit, is, you know, I'm taking bigger chunks. Okay. I'm taking bigger chunks on the move. You know, and I'm also hedging that with maybe slightly more risk, which I think is kind of a no-no. I've beaten it a couple of times, but, you know, in terms of the option, we actually bought puts on it on Friday. We bought puts, then we tried calls for about a second, and then just got out of those. But, you know, in terms of like options that just die on the vine really quickly, GLD is one of those. So if you're, you know, the people in TTG will understand this. If you're doing Frankenstein trades, you know, it can also be just really good. And honestly, that's you know, I think the most important thing, because I know people aren't going to just go and buy 1,000 shares of GLD. Look, I think 190 is in the cards, for sure. You know, obviously anything can change, but inflation talks and market valuations are just completely out of whack. You know, it's also a really good hedge if you're an institutional guy, you know, that's got a lot of tech, and it's like, okay, well, you know, this bubble is breaking. And you guys also look at it like this, all right? And this is really simple to understand. Gold, you know, usually if we follow the textbook, if the market's going low, gold is going high. Right now, markets ripping high, gold is going high. We're completely off the reservation. So you have to take that into account. That and this is kind of something I'm sure, you know, Mike is going to get into when he starts talking about the VIX, because a lot of patterns that have held true universally for the last 50 years or 30 years, whatever, 40 years, those paradigms have completely shifted. And what I mean by that is, you know, we are not going by the normal textbook. Okay. We're getting too much stimulus. We're getting, you know, understand that, look, everything is running, and I'm not trying to get in front of the market, but we're living in a giant asset bubble in the markets, which is great for us if we're not taking too much risk and we're learning how to trade and handle the volatility and what could happen next. Because look, I don't want the market to collapse, but then again, I'm like, yeah, collapse. I've taken enough profit on everything, and I know how to trade options really well. That's the time when, if you know what you're doing option wise, like you're printing your own money like Jerome Powell does. So, and maybe that was a long roundabout way to talk about GLD, but that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, I mean, this is something that Jason and I are both going to be paying close attention to this week. And I'm actually going to shift now over to the VIX and talk to you guys about what I've been noticing over these last couple of days in the VIX. Okay, we had this huge spike. Okay, this huge spike from Wednesday into Thursday. All right, this huge spike from Wednesday into Thursday with a real nice increase in volume. Okay, you had nice volume surges. Okay, when the VIX made this move. Now, while the VIX is making this move, you actually had on Wednesday the VIX go from red to green. All right, but at that same time, the SPY was just continuing its move to all-time highs. Okay, so as the SPY continued to make new all-time highs, you had the VIX go from red to green. That action was very interesting to me. The reason why that action was very interesting to me is I want you guys to understand, first and foremost, what the VIX actually is. A lot of people don't understand what the VIX actually is and what it actually tracks and what it means when the VIX goes up or down. The VIX is not a direct inverse of the overall market. Okay? Just because the market goes up, it does not necessarily mean the VIX has to go down. So they're not a direct inverse. That's the first thing that I want all of you to know. A lot of people don't understand what the VIX actually is. The VIX tracks volatility, okay? Volatility and essentially fear. What the VIX is actually telling you, as the VIX goes higher, what that means is that traders and investors are expecting wider range moves in the overall market. That's what volatility is. Okay? That is what volatility is. Volatility is, as the markets stay very, very close and very tight, volatility goes down. Once markets start to really open up and give you these bigger wide range swings, volatility will start to increase. The VIX is seen as a hedge. So when you have, now this makes total sense that people are stepping in and they're starting to hedge their long portfolios because everyone feels like the market, when I think everyone is kind of in the same thought process right now, which is actually a little concerning when everyone thinks the same. That's usually when market tops and bottoms are actually put in when everybody gets on one side of the trade. So it is a little concerning, I think, that you have a lot of people that are all coming to the same conclusion, which is the market should pull in, but it's not. You can't fight the stimulus and you can't fight the momentum higher, so just stop trying to. Everyone that's tried to short the market since April has gotten their ass completely handed to them. This is the lowest short position or the smallest short position on the overall markets in the last 15 years. Okay, this is the smallest short position on the overall markets since the last 15 years. Okay, that's first and foremost. So that means that most money managers, not just most, the overwhelming majority of the street is long. And where is everybody long? Tech. Everybody's long tech. Okay? Everybody's long tech. You have to be long tech because tech makes up such a huge percentage of these market cap weighted indexes that if you're not long tech, you will underperform the market benchmark. Now, as a money manager, you can't, if you underperform the S&P, you did a shit job. Because in other words, if that's the case, then why would someone pay an active money manager? Why not just buy an index fund like the SPY and just sit with your money in there? People pay active money managers because they want to beat the benchmark, which would be what's the S&P 500 do for the year? If the S&P is up 5% and you're paying an active money manager that only makes 4%, then that money manager has failed. But if the S&P goes up 9% and your money manager gets you 17%, job well done. So these money managers cannot afford to not be long tech because that's where all of this movement is. That's where all of this market cap appreciation, that's where all of this upside is. So you have to be long tech. So you have the smallest short position in the last 15 years, and everybody is long right now to their teeth. And now you're starting to see people come in and buy cheap insurance on their position, and they're hedging their portfolios. They're buying the VIX down here. People are going to add that to their portfolios. They're going to hedge against their long positions because in case you do get a wide range pullback, and I'm not talking about a crash, okay? I'm not talking about March sell-off all over again, but I'm talking about just a pullback, a realistic pullback, but it will seem like a very volatile pullback because all the market has done for the last seemingly month and a half, 2 months, has slowly ticked its way higher. So when you guys look at the SPY, let me go out to the daily chart. I mean, what has this market done since mid-July? Or excuse me, since the end of June? We've just slowly climbed higher. So if the market actually does give you a pullback, it can be a very healthy pullback, but it's going to seem like a very violent and volatile one because the market has been slowly moving higher for the last 2 months. So what I think you're starting to see is people are stepping in saying, well, we can't short the market, but we need to at least hedge against our long positions. And you're starting to get these little increases in volume on the VIX and these quick little pops, even though the market's pushing to all-time highs. Typically, when the market's pushing to all-time highs, slowly and steadily, you do not get these pops in the VIX. So I think you're seeing money managers coming in and they're starting to put on hedges and insurance on their long portfolios. Now, does that mean somebody knows something is coming? No, not necessarily. It's just money managers being prudent risk managers on their long positions. Okay, so it's not necessarily something that I'm saying like, oh my God, we're going to get a huge sell-off tomorrow because I'm seeing people buy the VIX. It's just people hedging they're too long. People are too long, but you can't not be long. Otherwise, you're going to underperform the benchmark. So people need to hedge those positions. And that's what you're seeing in the VIX. So now, if you're already seeing people coming in to buy the VIX when there's not yet volatility in the overall market, if you actually do get volatility in the market, people are then going to flock even more aggressively into hedge-like trades. What are hedge-like trades? Well, I just told you the VIX. That's a hedge. What else is a hedge-like trade? Gold and silver, especially if some of the volatility could be centered around any type of inflationary risk. You had inflation was a topic of discussion last week with Fed Chairman Powell, and that could further push gold and silver higher. So these are the things that I want you guys to focus on going into this week. I want you to focus on hedge trades. I want you to focus on the VIX. I want you to focus on gold. I want you to focus on silver because if you do get any type of volatility in the overall market, I think you're going to see those three things, silver, gold, and VIX. I think you're going to see all three pop. And the reason why I think you're going to see all three pop is because we're already seeing hedge vehicles pop with the market giving you no volatility and trading at all-time highs. So if you do actually get the volatility, then you should get an even bigger pop. Okay? So those are some things that I felt were important to discuss here tonight on the live stream with you. And that's what I think you guys should be looking at. That's what I'm going to be looking at. I know the Wolf is going to be looking at that as well. Okay?
Yeah, guys, and like Mike said, and like I was saying before, a lot of people still aren't positioned. Okay. So we could have this accumulation going on, and then something happens, something dramatic happens, and then we get this move. Well, then, guys, then we get the FOMO. And, like we saw in April and May, can you pull up gold in April and May?
Yep.
So, yeah, we see people start getting getting sorted out, and then look where we are, July, mid-July. Then people start saying, "Man, this shit's getting crazy. This market's really high," and now we're just kind of going sideways, just waiting. So, yeah, look, a lot of people already in, and consider people getting in now as the tier 2, or adding to their tier 1 position. But I think overall, like all signs suggest that, gold is really the play. And honestly, that's why I've been, trading it as much as I have, beyond normal stuff that I don't really. And it's it's two things. It's one, I need to understand how it moves better, because I know that that's the play. And two, I need to be positioned just in case, something does happen, or watching it so I know I know my exact levels if shit goes down. In the proverbial, in the, what I'm saying, not in a literal sense, in proverbial sense. So, it's going to be very interesting, and watching UVXY as well. Yeah, guys, I see somebody mention UVXY. One of the saddest trades that I have, one of my friends on Twitter had said in February, if somebody put a gun to your head and gave you $500,000 and said you had to buy one stock right now, what would it be? And I said UVXY. And UVXY, because I've been stalking it, just waiting for it to get back to 11. It got back to 11, and then I got cute with my call options. And it went from $11 to $124 or $130 within 2 weeks. So just nuts. Oh, you got it right there. What was that high on it?
135.
Oh, it was close. 134. See that? Memory, guys. That's my mutant power.
But yeah, look at this, Jason. Look at the volume that came into UVXY the last 2 days.
Yeah, and look at it in late Feb. Yeah. You know what? It's funny. So Mike and I have a mutual friend, our friend Alan. And I'm sure, Mike, Alan ever tell you the story about his buddy that was just buying UVXY?
No.
He was just buying. So this guy had started getting into UVXY at like $30, and he bought it down to he was buying. He did not care. He's like, this. He bought UVXY like Alan buys stocks.
Oh my God.
He bought millions of dollars worth of UVXY, like millions and millions of dollars, and he made some insane amount of money. If UVXY gets back down to like 11 or 12, I'm not messing with the option. I'm just going to stick to what I said I would do before, and I'm just going to buy this. I'm just going to buy the stock. So, that volume's already telling now. I didn't look back at that volume. This is where having the benefit of TC 2000 comes into play.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, and guys, for those of you, Jason, a couple of people are asking me about what's the difference between UVXY and the VIX. Guys, UVXY is just an ETF that tracks the VIX. Okay, um, it's just an ETF that tracks the VIX. I used to trade the TVIX. Um,
Rip.
God rest its soul, RIP TVIX.
Rip.
It was my favorite vehicle to trade. It was a highly leveraged ETF that tracked the VIX. UVXY is similar to TVIX, but does not have the same type of leverage as did the TVIX. But Credit Suisse has since delisted the TVIX, as well as some other highly leveraged ETFs. But UVXY, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, do you guys see the volume spike that we had here on UVXY? And now, again, like I'm saying, this does not mean that the world is ending. This does not mean we're going to have some massive sell-off this week. But what it does mean is that people, I think, at this point are so long that they're now coming in and they're looking to hedge their portfolios. And two areas that are the best hedge for any long portfolio is going to be obviously the VIX, and then it's going to be gold.
Guys,
Good.
yeah, I think it's important to say this. So how does a bubble get created, right? I think right now, and you guys, if you think I'm wrong, just say you're wrong, Wolf, or you're douche, Wolf. That's really easy. Or hey, asshole, like my wife says, you're wrong. But I think that what we're seeing, or what we could be seeing, is a lot of people that are just afraid to be first to sell. And they're especially asset managers, especially guys that are running funds, institutional guys, family offices, and everybody in between. And they're just like, well, I don't, kind of the same way I feel about, watching Square, watching Lululemon, watching, pretty much every stock that I own long term, and sold a little too much of it. They're just kind of like, okay, it's just going higher. It's just going higher. I'm just going to keep buying, go with it. And they're asking their other institute, hey, are you going to keep buying? They're like, yeah, I'm going to keep buying. What about you? Yeah, I'm going to keep buying. Yeah, to the moon, And the problem is when you ask the guy next to you and you're like, are you going to keep buying? And he's like, yeah. And pushing the button. And then that's when it really starts to unwind itself. And it might not even need a catalyst. It might not need bad news. It just might be one of those days where, we break this little level on the SPY, and, maybe we break a level on Apple, and we break a level on Tesla, and then Microsoft, Amazon. And then all of a sudden we see these levels, and then we're like, okay, well, there's support here. And then we cut through the support. And then people start thinking, okay, this is it. Where am I going to go from here? And at that point, that's when retail starts panicking. And then the institutions start selling into retail, retail selling into themselves, and then you get like Black Tuesday.
Yeah, it's always your retail guys. They're always the last ones out.
Yeah.
Retail is always last ones out.
And honestly, guys, that's how it works. Institutional guys don't care. Honey Badger don't care. Because You know why? Because, look, I've had this conversation with guys in different sectors, okay? When they're like, well, how if you were doing this tactically, how would you do it? And it's always a really, this is always a theoretical conversation. Let me preface with that. So it's like, well, how do you create, panic? And, it's always like, all right, I'm going to sell. I'm going to put my foot on this stock. All right. And I'm going to stop selling when I start seeing retail sell. And then as retail sells, and then this starts escalating, maybe I just put my foot on it a little bit more. And when I think that they've had enough, when they think like, oh, we're okay, I just hit them again. And then they really start to panic. And then by the time you see you're down 30% on a stock, and then they come in. Now, the institutional guy, the big money guy, is like, hey, I sold, all the way up there. I'll buy it down here, and, I'll be the bounce. And then everybody will be like, oh, I messed up and got FOMO. That's exactly what happened in the market in March. Retail panicked. People were calling me, they're like, what should my dad do? Should he cash out his 401k? And I was like, no, tell him to buy more.
Dude, how many times in March? If you people, here, quick question, real quick. How many of you, okay, just a quick question. How many of you have been following the True Trading Group YouTube channel since March? What did I tell you all in March? I said, guys, this is one of the greatest opportunities that I have ever seen in the market. I go, in my career, I've been trading for 16 years. I was at the hedge fund during the 08-09 crash. And I said to everybody in March, guys, this is the greatest wealth building opportunity of my lifetime. It was this crash in March. And that's why I was buying. Bro, I was buying in chunks in March. Okay. My very first buy was here. Then I bought more here. And then I bought more here. Okay. That is literally where I bought my chunks in my long-term portfolio. And I was adding to all my positions. Those were my big chunk. And now you guys can see where the market is and the move that the market has made. Jason and I both were on the YouTube channel. And if you were following the YouTube, the True Trading Group channel in March, comment in chat. Like, you guys remember the live streams that we were doing in March when the market was crashing, and Jason and I were both pleading with you all, banging the table, shouting from the rooftops, guys, this is the opportunity to build wealth. This pullback is where you guys need to put money to work. You've got to be a buyer. This is not a doomsday scenario. You've got to be a buyer. You've got to be a buyer. You got to be a buyer. We were talking about it in March, the whole month. Okay, so if any of you were following any of those streams, if you were part of any of those streams, comment in chat and let me know if you guys took advantage. Okay, because Jason and I took advantage, and we've seen the value of our long-term portfolio skyrocket over the last several months. So hopefully, if you guys took advantage of what we talked about there in March, comment. Let me know. Let Jason know. You guys comment. What are some of the stocks that you guys bought? Okay, if you were watching some of those live streams with us in March, we suggested a lot of different names. What are some of the stocks that you guys bought? Okay, because the stocks that I bought, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Qualcomm, AMD, Nvidia, Johnson & Johnson, Home Depot, Starbucks. I know Jason with Square, Lululemon. I mean, there's a lot of stocks that we were talking about banging. TNDM was another one that we talked about. Guys, TNDM, you guys remember TNDM? Yeah, well, in March, it dropped all the way to 45. Now it's at 113. Okay, that was another one that we were pounding the table on in March. So if you guys were part of True Trading Group or were on the YouTube channel, comment in chat. Let me know what stocks that you bought. I'd love to know. And congratulations for those of you that did take advantage. Okay, before we get into some individual stocks, I'm going to talk to you guys now about Roku. We're going to talk about Beyond Meat as well. These are some more stocks that Jason and I are looking at going into this week. Again, guys, we have a lot of new faces on the YouTube channel here tonight. We have people that are tuning in on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. We're also streaming on Twitter via Periscope. So we have a lot of new faces that are on this channel. Again, if you have not done so already, you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and of course, share this live stream on your own social media platforms so we can get as many traders involved in this commentary as we can to hopefully help as many traders as we can navigate the markets over the coming week or two and identify opportunities where they can make money. Right? That's why we're here. We do these things to talk about where were you going to make money this week. That's why Jason and I are on here. Every Sunday, Jason and I talk. What do you think? What do you think? What do you see? Where do you think opportunity is? And he and I come up with game plans on where we're going to be making money this week. And we share this commentary with you guys live on these live streams. So show us how much you guys appreciate it by liking and sharing this video. For those of you that are brand new, if you guys, again, I want to make sure you are aware of the 7-day trial that we have where you can try out True Trading Group for 7 days for only a one-time payment of $3. Guys, take advantage. Go to ttg3.com. Again, go to ttg3.com to get a trial membership, a 7-day trial with TTG for a one-time payment of $3. You can upgrade to a full-time membership at any time during that 7-day trial, but you are under no obligation to do so whatsoever. For just $3, you are going to get to navigate our member dashboard, see all the resources and tools that are available to you as a True Trading Group member. Some of those features are locked to trial members, but you're going to be able to see that we have a trade simulator. We have a stock screener. We've got different webinars. We have virtual trading workshops. We've got a premium blog. We have a TGD forum. We have a live Benzinga Pro news feed that is included with your subscription. We have a stock profile due diligence tool that compiles analyst ratings for a particular stock as well as other financial and stock information. We are also going to get access with this 7-day trial membership. You're going to get access to our chat room any day during the week that works for you. Monday through Friday, you pick a day, you come and chat with us live the entire day from 7:30 a.m. until about 6 p.m. Eastern. Our chat room is open live. You see my screen, you hear me on the microphone, you hear the wolf on the microphone, as well as other teaching moderators as we talk to you about what we're trading, why we're trading it, what we're buying, what we're selling before we buy it and before we sell it. We are not Monday morning quarterbacks here, boys and girls. We come on the microphone and I tell you guys, okay, the stock's at 1050. I go, if it pulls back in, I'm a buyer at 1015. I tell you guys what I'm doing before I do it. Okay, we're not Monday morning quarterbacks. With your 7-day trial membership, you will also get access to all of our trade history. So you guys can actually go through and see all of the trades that myself and the rest of the TGD Pro moderators in chat, that all of the trades that we have made over the last couple of months. So you can go through and track, okay, what did Mike do? What's Mike's win rate? What's the Wolf's win rate? Right now, as a group, as a chat room as a whole, we're sporting just around an 80% win rate between myself and the rest of the moderators. But you guys get to go and look at that trade history yourself. We are full transparency. We leave everything open for everybody to see. We're not trying to hide behind any of the winners or losers. Everything is out there for you to see. You get access to all of this in your TTD trial membership. It's a 7-day trial for a one-time payment of $3. Okay? One-time payment of $3. So if you're wondering, is True Trading Group right for me? Mike sounds awesome, man. He's breaking down. He's giving me a lot of information. The Wolf sounds great. You know, he's giving me a lot of information. But how do I know True Trading Group is different from the other nonsense, BS, complete garbage, you know, other services that just look to upsell you endlessly with, oh, you know, buy this. Well, now you got to buy this VIP package. Well, now you got to buy this inner circle. Now you got to buy this special VIP package. Now and they got to upsell you every single minute. You feel like you're being upsold something. At True Trading Group, there are no upsells ever. There's no upsells ever. Everything that we have available to you is included in your full-time membership. So if you want to try us out for a 7-day period, go to ttg3.com. That's ttgthree.com and try us out for just a one-time payment of $3. For those of you that are interested in joining the TGD fam full-time, okay, if you are already a trial member or you just want to join True Trading Group full-time and you guys want to receive a special one-time discount on a full-time membership, text the code TTG Live. That's TTGLIVE. Text that code to 63566 and learn about a one-time special discount if you're ready to join the True Trading Group family full-time with a 1-year all-inclusive membership that includes every single resource, course, curriculum, tool that we have at our disposal. You will never be upsold as a member of True Trading Group. When you join the TGD family, you get access to all of it. Okay? No upsells ever. All right. So again, guys, take advantage of this special one-time discount. This discount is only valid until 3 a.m. Eastern time. That's midnight Pacific time. So if you are interested in what is that special discount, text TTG Live to 63566 right now, because it will no longer be valid after 3 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to know what that special discount is, text that code to 63566 now. All right. Now, as we move on, let's talk about Roku real quick. Wolf, if you want to talk to them about, I mean, you are the Roku slayer. We've got a very clear resistance area here, guys, up in the low 170s on Roku. I'll let the Wolf kind of talk to you guys a little bit about Roku, but this 170 area, okay, it's like we have this zone here, okay? You really have this zone. I'm going to draw up these lines. Like this is your resistance zone on Roku, okay? You've got your previous all-time high. You've got this previous pivot high. Then that pivot high double topped in July and beginning of August. And now you just had an all-time high test and an actual new all-time high print. But there's still a lot of resistance up here in this area. Okay, there's a lot of resistance up here in this area. So look for Roku. We have real nice, strong increase in volume on Friday as we went up there to touch those all-time highs. This is a stock that I'm looking to see. If there's a pullback and consolidation on Roku, I'm looking for that 169 area to hold. Okay, I'm looking for that 169 area to hold if we get a pullback on Roku, and I think you can see Roku up towards 190 in the coming weeks as long as the market holds. Now, if the market stays firm and the market just keeps slowly crawling up towards 360 on the SPY, 3,600 on the S&P, if the market just starts to slowly crawl up to 3,600, I would expect to see Roku get up towards 190 in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. On the flip side, if the SPY does give you some volatile pullback back towards 340, then I would say, okay, you can look for Roku for this resistance level to stick, and then profit taking to take Roku maybe back towards 160. But Roku is at a very clear pivot point and a clear resistance zone on the daily chart. And this is a setup I think will give you a very, very, very tradable opportunity on this stock. Stock's got tremendous volatility. The stock will move 10, 15 bucks in a single day. No problem. No questions asked. The Wolf has been slaying this stock for the last 3 months or so. You guys, again, as a trial member to True Trading Group or as a full-time member, you guys can go back and view our trade history, and you can see how many times the Wolf has surgically traded himself through both call options and put options on Roku over the last couple of months. Well, is there anything specific you want to mention on Roku before I'm going to jump over to Beyond Meat next?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it would have to turn a lot here in the 170 for this to hold. I think if anything, 160 is the new 150. So I'd probably be looking for that. I don't think that 175 is going to hold. Also, it's not trading in conjunction with the SPY. If anything, it's moving with QQQ. So if we do get in a pullback on, let's say, Apple or Microsoft or Amazon, it is going to impact Roku, which is something that I've seen happen. The only reason that Roku has made this move is because of an upgrade. Now, if you go back 2 weeks ago, this thing went all the way down to 143, got an upgrade, and then went up to 153 the next day. So, while I want to see this thing perform, I just don't think it's going to have the steam. I also think that the market's just a little too hot. So, how much further can we go? I think their upgrade was to 184. Okay, great. So we get to 184. So I'm looking for 155 or 177.50 puts, because if there is one thing I know about Roku, it's that it's going to test those and then fail, test those and then fail. And then we'll see, what it keeps bouncing off of. So it might be 169, 168. And then we'll see. I think once it tests 169, 168 like 5 times, then we could see it go 163. Think about, for everybody in TTG, just remember how it traded from like 148 to 155. It would go, 148 to 165 and then pull back. All right. But the great thing about Roku also is it's, like once you figure out the channel, you're good to go. All right.
Well said. Well, so yeah, Roku will be one that we're going to focus on, guys, in chat this week. Then you also have Beyond Meat. Okay. What I want to focus on right now on Beyond Meat is a technical setup. I want to point out and identify a key support level for you guys on Beyond Meat. I want you to notice that previously in the end of April, we had a strong pivot high. And once that area was broken through, it then became a nice support level. Okay. And this support level has held now for the last couple of months. Since May, this level has been tested and has held. All right. Now you have the 100-day moving average coming up underneath the stock as well. That could potentially give you an extra layer of support. On the flip side, though, you have this 50-day moving average that has been holding the stock down. All right. So here you will see this 50-day moving average has been holding the stock down over the last 2 months. Okay. So now as this 100-day moving average comes up into play, we'll see if there is some support at the 100-day, because we know we have resistance at the 50. All right. But if Beyond Meat can really hold this 120 area, okay, if that 120 area can really hold, you could see Beyond Meat back up towards 150 in the coming weeks. All right. So this is something that we are going to be focusing on. If Beyond Meat gets below, I'd say like 117, if Beyond Meat gets below 117, I think you easily have a move back towards 109, 108, possibly even to 102. And that's going to be your 200-day moving average. That's going to line up with this gap entry point from May. There's your gap entry point. And then a complete gap fill takes you all the way down to 100. So these are your key levels on Beyond Meat. I'm definitely more bullish on this setup than I am bearish, but I'm giving you guys key levels to focus on, because maybe you don't agree with me. Maybe you think that maybe you're looking for a short or some put option play, and I want to make sure that you guys have the proper levels identified on this particular stock. But I think that you could see Beyond Meat get up into the mid 140s, possibly 150. It's where I'm sitting at 131 right now. So you got about a 20-point move ahead of you, and then you will encounter a lot of resistance once you get over 160. Okay, over 160, there is a lot of resistance on Beyond Meat. You can see it failed many times there in June. And when you go all the way back to 2019, you will see massive resistance in August, September. Then you had the rollover, and then there's resistance again in June. So that will be a major area of resistance if we do get up and test that area. Okay. So this is another stock that we're going to be paying attention to this week.
Yeah. I actually missed it on everybody that's in TTG on Thursday. What calls was I looking to get? So I've been stalking Beyond Meat, and I had an alert come on my phone once it hit 123.50. For a bounce. So I was looking for those 125 calls, was looking for Beyond Meat to 123. That just never happened. then somebody asked about going short, and I was like, we were at like 137, 138. And, you know, I wouldn't start thinking about going short until like 145 or just after 143. So I'm interested to see if you see any congestion up there, because I'm just going off memory.
I do. I do. It'll be a little bit more. So here's the congestion area that you're speaking about. It's from early July. Okay, from early July, right there, right in your mid 140s, like 146.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have a little congestion there for like that first week of July. That was a congestion area, and then when you go back to May, you'll also see a resistance point, that same area in the mid 140s back in May. So you do have some congestion up there in the mid 140s. That if you do get a breakout day in towards like 146, 147, that you may get a little bit of a pullback and cool off from that area.
Yeah, look, I think the problem with Beyond Meat is, look, it's kind of a cult stock, but I think that the cult is kind of wearing off because
I agree.
You know, the thing about it is, when pandemic was getting crazy, you'd go into the supermarket, you'd see a lot of Beyond Meat there. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody wants to eat it, and it turns out it's not fucking good for you. By
the way, Jay, as you and I are speaking right now, the futures just made new highs.
Nice.
We are now up 0.5% on the S&P. We just crossed 35.24.
And gold and silver almost high. Gold, not as high.
Oh yeah, silver is up almost 2%.
Yeah,
silver futures are up almost 2%,
and that's a lot for silver. Silver is one of the slowest moving things you could ever be in.
Yeah,
that's why it's like I own physical silver. I don't actually own like SLV or PSLV, which was like Sprots. I used to, and I was just like, oh, it's so boring. At least when I had like silver bars, like I've got 1 ounce like silver coins with like weed, with like pot leaves on them that people give me. But yeah, so back to Beyond Meat. I think it's a combination of that, and you know, there's more competition coming. I think there's like Impossible Meat, or possible. I don't know. You know, look, if you're a vegetarian, great. I dated a girl once who was a vegetarian. She was probably far too good looking for me. But man, bathroom always stunk after. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not into it. It's just not. It's Beyond Meat. I don't know. I don't see it. Look, I see it just kind of going between like this channel for a while until, you know, maybe they have some kind of breakthrough or what, you know? So I think we just kind of bang around between like 120 and then like 145, 150, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Because eventually people are just going to sell it off anyway.
Yeah. I think, I mean, this thing, I think if we do get up towards like 165, I think this is a slam dunk put option play around 165.
Yeah.
You know, back to like 155. I think you can catch like a 10-point down move in the stock itself. So it's something that we're going to be looking for, guys, here for sure. So,
and then crude just went over 43.
Oh, wow.
Which, you know, I actually saw something this weekend about oil stocks and the price of crude. And the oil stocks you would think that, okay, oil's going up, the oil stocks would go up. They've completely diverged.
Yeah.
And for a while, you know, it's like, oil, you know, remember, oil's a commodity. These companies are in the business of dealing with that commodity. So they still have costs associated with it. Like a barrel of oil is a barrel of oil, right? Payment, so it's not such an easy trade. I actually bought some Exxon on Friday, where it was one of those like practice what you preach moments, because I don't own Exxon, and I was like, oh, and I had a small win on GLD, and I was like, oh, it's a small win. I was like, what am I going to do with this money? It was like $400. So when I bought Exxon with it, now I have an Exxon position, pays a dividend. It's not going to do anything, but I'm not going to gamble it on stupid options. And then the last thing, and well, I'm going to jump ahead. I'm going to jump you on this one because I'm getting blown up about this ETF, which is MSOS, which it's not. It hasn't started trading yet. So it's an ETF that's cannabis specific to the MSOs. So what an MSO is a multi-state operator. So basically these are the cannabis companies that are in the United States, okay? Now a lot of these things trade on the CSE and they trade on the OTC, so a lot of places can't touch them. Now this ETF is basically going to change that. So, we could see some people or institutions, family offices. Well, family offices don't really give a shit. They'll buy it anyway. But let's say like funds that can't buy something that's on the OTC or, on the CSE will buy this so they've got some exposure to the MSOs. Now, a lot of people think that, oh, well, they're going to just be, this is going to drive up the stock, artificially. Yes and no. All right. Not technically. What it does is, MSOs is buying. Okay. They're buying True Leaf. They're buying Green Thumb. They're buying Curaleaf, which they are. But then the FOMO kicks in to those like, well, I need to be situated. What I say to people is, especially in TTG, it's like, guys, we're already situated. We've been situated since July. We've traded these cannabis stocks so well that it's not like we got in July. It's like we got in May, just by the nature of how we trade them and how I had taught them to trade them. So, people are going to say, well, are you going to buy it? Yeah, look, I'll trade it. Okay. But the truth, the fact of the matter is, I've already created my own ETF. Okay. With my positions. Look, they're going to have some great companies in there. They're going to have Green Thumb. They're going to have Cresco. They're going to have True Leaf, TerraSend. Who else? Curaleaf. They're also going to probably have some companies that I just wouldn't buy. Okay. And, especially if they're getting into them now or adding to these positions, let them be the ones to drive up the stock. I'm already positioned. You guys know how much I spent on Thursday, or was it Wednesday, in some of these things. So, I will, though, be very excited to trade those options. And the only other benefit is that because they're trading on the New York Stock Exchange, well, then you can buy them on margin, which you really shouldn't buy them on margin. But, if you're trading them and you want to buy like 10,000 shares, I don't know what it's going to open at. I did talk to the guy that runs it. He sent me a message this week, and apparently they did a swap with Cohen, so they've already got shares in a lot of these things. So don't look at it as like, oh, they're just going to be buying up all of this stuff. All right, they're most likely already positioned. All right, and I want you guys to know that. I'm not saying that they won't buy more as people put money into the ETF, then they're going to, have to do something with that surplus of cash. Okay? All right, so stop asking me on Twitter.
All right. All right, guys. Good stuff, gang. Really good stuff. We really went over a lot of stuff here. All right. We went over a lot of stuff here on this live stream. We talked about VIX. We talked about gold. We talked about silver. We talked about Roku. We talked about Beyond Meat. We talked about cannabis. We talked about the cannabis ETF. So we have a lot, futures, new highs as we were conducting this live stream. So a lot of stuff that we covered. And those are where our focuses are going to be tomorrow going into the day. And of course, I'll be looking at, whatever the small caps are that are gapping up with news. Okay. Whatever the small caps are that are gapping up with our leading gappers on the day. Of course, I'll be focusing there as well, in addition to the stocks that we had talked about here today. Okay. So again, guys, for those of you that are not yet part of the TGG family, I cannot stress enough the importance for you guys to check out and take advantage of the TGG3 program. Okay? Take advantage of the TGG3 program. Let me ask all of you questions right now. Okay? I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. All right? How many of you would ever buy a car if you were not allowed to test drive it? I've said, how many of you would be willing to let someone babysit your kids without first interviewing them? None of you. None of you. None of you would do this. Okay? So we feel the exact same way at True Trading Group, and we are confident at True Trading Group that the second that you see everything that comes available to you in a TTG membership, a full-time membership, once you see all of the resources and tools at your disposal, like the trade simulator, the stock screener, the premium blog, the Trader Palooza virtual trading workshops, all of our webinar sessions, our private study groups, our one-on-one mentor sessions, our beginner and foundation stock trading courses, our advanced stock trading courses, our beginner options courses, our advanced option courses, our trader psychology courses, our how to trade a market crash courses, our tax trading courses. Okay, if those of you have questions about taxes, we had a CPA put a tax course together for you. All of that is included in your membership. Our Benzinga Pro News Feed, real-time Pro News Feed included. Real-time Level 2 included. Charting software included. Once you get a feel and get to see on your member dashboard every single resource and tool that comes in a one-year membership to True Trading Group, once you go through the 3 courses that are included in your trial membership that are guaranteed to help make you a better trader, I guarantee you are going to learn more. If you're a novice trader, I guarantee that you are going to learn more in those 3 courses than you probably have in the entire last year of your trading career. These are 3 courses I specifically put together for the TTG3 platform. And I did so because these are topics that I think are crucial in helping you become a better trader. I didn't just randomly pick these topics. These courses were carefully thought of, put together, and compiled into this 3-course with exams after the end of each that I think are guaranteed to make you a better trader. And that's why, and I'm serious, I'm really standing behind that I think that you're going to learn more in just those 3 short courses, okay, that have several different chapters in each course. I think you're going to learn more than you've learned in the entire past year by either watching YouTube videos or maybe part of some other group or service that you're a part of. The TTG program, the product, and the value of the membership that you get speaks for itself. I stand behind the product, I stand behind the group, and I'm confident that once you get access to the TGD member dashboard and the TGD platform, and you experience what it's like to be a TGD member for 7 days, I'm confident that you're going to realize that there is no better place for you to learn how to become a consistently profitable stock and or options trader than True Trading Group. There's people in TTG of all experience levels. Okay, there's people at True Trading Group for all experience levels, whether you've never traded a stock a day in your life or if you've been trading for 20 plus years. We have members in True Trading Group that have never traded before. We also have professional, stockbrokers in Canada. We have a Morgan Stanley 20-year veteran stockbroker and trader. We have a money and asset manager that lives in Australia that manages money for 50 different high net worth clients. We have, and then like I said, and then you have your members that have never traded stock a day in their lives. They have no idea what they're doing. That's why I've broken down the courses in the curriculum into the beginner courses and the advanced courses. That's why I've done that. Okay. And I want to give you now the opportunity to experience and get a 7-day trial to True Trading Group for just a one-time payment of $3. One-time payment of $3. You get to come and chat with us any day during the week. Okay. You pick one day, Monday through Friday, whatever fits your schedule best. Come and chat, trade with us live, experience what it's like to be part of the TGD family. Get those 3 courses that are guaranteed to help make you a profitable trader. Get access to our stock profile due diligence tool that will show you all the analyst ratings for any stock you're interested in, as well as other financial and stock information. Get access to our trade history so you guys can see exactly the trade history from all of your TGD moderators in chat. You guys get access to all of this included in your membership for just $3. If you guys are serious about becoming a consistently profitable trader, then I'm sitting here right now telling you, as a former award-winning hedge fund trader, I'm telling you all that you have the opportunity to spend $3. That's less than I spend on my Starbucks coffee every morning. For $3, less than a cup of coffee, you can experience True Trading Group for 7 days. If you are not jumping at this opportunity to answer the question for yourself, is True Trading Group right for me? You probably ask, is True Trading Group right for me? Well, this is your chance to answer that question. And if you're still sitting here watching this live stream and you have not yet joined the TTG3 trial membership program, then I don't know what you're still doing here on this live stream. It's not a matter of, I want to join, but I just can't swing it right now. It's $3. It's not $3,000. It's $3 for 7 days. And during those 7 days, at any point, you can upgrade to a full 1-year membership if you want. If you don't want to, you're under no obligation to do so. If you're serious about this, you're serious about getting a professional education, again, remember, the courses that are in the TGD curriculum is the same information I received working at a hedge fund on Wall Street. That hedge fund did not let me trade $1 of their money until I passed that program. If they won't let me trade with their money without passing that educational program, why would you let yourself trade with your money without passing that educational program? Ask yourself that question. Why would a $500 million hedge fund in New York City not let their new traders, their new hires, trade with their money until they received this education? Because a professional education matters. It's not trial and error and figuring things out as you go. It's about getting an education, applying it, and implementing it in your daily trading, where you can then become a consistent profitable trader based on that education that you have received. So if a hedge fund doesn't let their traders trade without this education, you should not let yourself trade without this education. And I'm giving you an opportunity right now to join True Trading Group on a 7-day trial for a one-time payment of $3. Go to ttg3.com. That's ttgthree.com. Then, for those of you that are interested in joining True Trading Group for a full-time 1-year membership, that's all-inclusive. For those of you that maybe are already part of the TGD3 trial membership program, or if you just are interested in joining the TGD family full-time and you're saying, you know what, Mike, you're right. If a hedge fund's not going to let you trade with their money before you go get that education, I'm ready to also get that education, and I'm not going to trade until I get that education, because that's what you get when you join True Trading Group. The courses that are available on our website is a simplified version of the educational program that I received working at a hedge fund on Wall Street. So if you're saying to yourself right now, you know what, Mike, you're right. I've got enough bullshit, enough farting around. I've got to get serious about this. I've got to get a professional education. I'm ready to do this. And if you guys are ready to do this, you can text the word TTG live. That's TTG LIVE. Text that to the code 63566 to get a one-time special discount that will expire at 3 a.m. Eastern tonight. So if you're interested in learning what is the special discount, that we're giving away right now. If you're ready to join True Trading Group full time, text TTGLIVE to the number 63566 to receive a special limited time discount on a full 1-year membership to True Trading Group. All right. If you guys are ready to join the TGD family full time, the Wolf, myself, the other TGD moderators, the rest of our TGD members, we're here waiting for you, ready for you to trade together, learn together, profit together. If not, okay, I'll see my TGD family in chat tomorrow. I hope to see some TGD trial members in chat tomorrow as well that took advantage of that TGD3 program. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on our live stream tomorrow night where we're going to be back on here recapping the day and talking about maybe giving some updated trade ideas as we go through the rest of the week as the market kicks things off on Monday. All right. I want to thank you all that are joining me on the YouTube channel, that are joining us on Twitch, Facebook, and on Twitter via Periscope. Thank you guys for joining us on this live stream. It's been real. Okay. The Wolf and I really appreciate you guys. If you have not done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification to make sure you guys are never missing a live stream or a video that we post on a regular basis, giving technical and mental lessons when it comes to day trading, swing trading, both stocks and options. And of course, if you have not done so already, smash that like button for me. You guys have been great. I love you guys. I'll see you all in chat tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.